At 99 years old, Dick Van Dyke remains a living contradiction to how the world usually defines aging. Most people are remembered in fragments, an era, a role, a peak moment frozen in time, but he continues to exist in motion. The same physical expressiveness that once filled television screens now appears in simpler, quieter ways. A step, a smile, a rhythm that refuses to disappear. His life is not only about longevity but about persistence of spirit. Even as generations pass and the entertainment world reshapes itself, he stands as proof that joy, once learned deeply, does not retire. 2. West Plains Beginnings, a small town world. Dick Van Dyke was born in West Plains, Missouri, a place defined by quiet routines and limited horizons. It was not a town built for ambition and certainly not for performance dreams. His father worked as a traveling salesman, often absent, while his mother carried the emotional weight of the household with steady but understated strength. The family was not broken, but it was emotionally restrained, offering little outward affection or validation. In that silence, young Dick learned to observe. He noticed how attention shifted when someone entered a room differently, and he began to understand the invisible power of presence. 3. Childhood and the need to be seen. Growing up, he did not describe his childhood as painful, but as emotionally distant. There were no dramatic ruptures, only a steady absence of warmth that left him searching for ways to matter. He discovered early that humor could change everything. A funny face or exaggerated movement could transform indifference into engagement. That realization became foundational. It was not about applause, yet it was about visibility. In a home where emotional expression was limited, performance became language. The stage, even if only imaginary at first, offered something life at home did not: confirmation that he existed in a meaningful way. 4. The first stage, comedy as survival. By adolescence, performance was no longer a hobby but a form of identity. He studied classic comedians obsessively, especially silent film legends, learning timing, rhythm, and physical storytelling. Comedy became architecture in his mind, something built carefully to create emotional response. He practiced constantly, using everyday spaces as rehearsal rooms. What others saw as goofiness was, in truth, training. Even without formal instruction, he was developing instinctive mastery of physical comedy. It was not escape, but adaptation. In performance, he could finally control how he was perceived, turning uncertainty into structure and invisibility into attention. 5. War years. Entertainment in uniform. In 1944, he was drafted into the United States Army Air Forces during World War II. He initially hoped to become a pilot, but physical requirements redirected him to other duties. Instead of combat, he worked as a radio operator and entertainer for troops. While it was not frontline service, it exposed him to a different truth about performance. Soldiers did not need perfection, they needed relief. Humor and entertainment became essential tools for morale. In those moments, he understood that laughter was not trivial. It was survival. This realization deepened his commitment to performing, giving purpose to what had once been instinct. 6. The struggle years. Searching for a break. After the war, success did not arrive quickly. Like many performers, he moved through cities and small jobs, chasing auditions and opportunities that rarely led anywhere. He formed a comedy duo, performed in clubs, and worked temporary roles in broadcasting. Money was inconsistent and rejection was constant. During this period, he married Margie Willett, and they began a family. Love existed, but so did pressure, absence, and uncertainty. Ambition pulled him away repeatedly, and stability remained fragile. These years were defined by persistence more than progress, and by belief in a future that had not yet revealed itself. 7. Family, pressure, and emotional distance. As his career struggles continued, so did the strain on his personal life. He became a father of 4 while still navigating an unstable profession. The demands of providing and the demands of pursuing a dream often conflicted. Though he cared deeply for his family, his presence was inconsistent, shaped by travel, rehearsals, and constant uncertainty. The emotional cost was gradual rather than sudden. Over time, distance accumulated in ways that were difficult to repair. His marriage endured for decades, but the imbalance between public ambition and private responsibility created fractures that neither success nor time could fully resolve. 8. Breakthrough, from Broadway to recognition. Everything began to shift in the late 1950s. Television was rising, Broadway was evolving, and new opportunities emerged for performers who could adapt quickly. His role in Bye Bye Birdie became a turning point. On stage, he combined physical comedy with emotional clarity in a way that felt effortless. Audiences responded immediately. Critics noticed his rare ability to make performance feel alive rather than constructed. In 1961, he won a Tony Award for Best Actor in a Musical, a moment that confirmed what years of struggle had suggested. Persistence can eventually meet opportunity, even if the timing is uncertain. 9. Television fame and a defining role. Soon after Broadway success, he transitioned into television with The Dick Van Dyke Show, a defining cultural moment in American entertainment. The role allowed him to translate stage energy into a new medium, bringing warmth, timing, and physical comedy into living rooms across the country. The show became a landmark not just for its humor, but for its humanity. He was not playing perfection, he was playing relatability. Audiences saw not a distant star, but a familiar presence. This balance of skill and sincerity became his signature, shaping how generations would remember him. 10. Later, life and love rediscovered. Decades later, after personal losses and long emotional chapters, life offered an unexpected renewal. In his mid-80s, he found companionship with makeup artist Arlene Silver, a connection that reintroduced joy in a different form. Simpler, grounded, and deeply human. It was not about fame or reinvention, but about being understood without performance. This relationship arrived late in life, yet it carried a sense of completeness that earlier years had not fully provided. It reflected a quieter truth. Emotional fulfillment does not follow career timelines, and connection can appear when it is least expected. 11. Outro. The meaning of 99 years. Now at 99, Dick Van Dyke's life stands as more than a biography of success. It is a study in endurance, adaptation, and emotional complexity. He has lived through obscurity, fame, loss, reinvention, and late-life renewal. What remains constant is movement, the refusal to become static, even in age. His story is not defined by a single era, but by continuity across nearly a century. In him, we see not just an entertainer, but a reminder that identity is not fixed at its peak. It evolves, continues, and sometimes, even at the very end, still dances.